Hello guys and welcome back to today's lesson. Today we have here Miss Rachelle Bezuidenhout from Hoërskool Rustenburg, our two students Marley Kutsia and Dubé and Filwe, and today we're going to do reported speech and Juffrou Rachelle is going to explain it to us.
Hi guys, so the reported speech, if you are able to do reported speech, you can already get 3 or 4 out of the 20 language marks for your question 5. Okay, the language section of paper 1. Out of all the language elements, it usually counts the most. So it's very important and it's quite easy to do. So if you are able to do reported speech, there are a few pasalap and marks for you. Let me share my screen quickly. Okay. Are you able to see? Okay. Okay. So reported speech. Why do we use reported speech in the first place? Why can't we just say, use the direct words in every situation?
Ma'am, doesn't it maybe makes it easier for us, like it makes the language easier for us to basically to explain, to tell somebody, or
Yes.
I don't know.
People, when you report speech, when you use indirect speech, you are saying someone else's words, okay? The words someone else said at some point in time. Now, when you relate someone else's words, they have to know that first of all, it's not your words, okay? They mustn't kill the messenger. It's not you that said that. And second of all, it might have been said in a different time. You might be telling someone what someone else said a year ago, or a week ago, or a day ago. Okay? If I say, for example, you must study hard or you will fail matric. And then at the end of the year, you didn't study at all, you played PlayStation games or sat by your swimming pool tanning, and now you have failed matric. And the principal calls me into his office. And I say, no, I'm calling a witness. Dubé, please come with me and tell him what I said. And now he says to the principal, you must study hard or you will fail matric. Then it just makes a bad situation even worse, because now there's the student telling the principal that he's going to fail matric where he has already passed it and got a university degree and became the principal of a school. Hey. So instead of saying you must study hard or you will fail matric, he must say she said that they had to study hard or they would fail matric. Okay. So it's the words of someone else related in a different time frame or in the same time frame as you'll see just now. So there are 2 types of reported speech. The one type is reported speech in the present tense. Then only the person changes. Then you are just telling someone what someone said directly a few minutes ago, or they just said it. Like if you are in a conversation and you didn't hear what your friend said and you ask, what did he say? And then they will say, he says that he is very hungry. Okay, then the verb and the time word won't change. When it says or replies or yells, when this verb is in the present tense, only the person changes. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. When this verb is in the past tense, when it's said or replied or yelled, we have reported speech in the past tense. Then 3 things have to change. The person, I drew a little person for you here, the time word and the verb. Okay. The person changes from a personal pronoun like I or we into a more impersonal one like he or she or they. Okay. The time word changes according to a formula, which I'll show to you just now. Time words change specifically, like must changes to had to. And then the verb jumps 1 tense back. Now that is the one that you always seem to forget. If I say, for example, I swim in the sea, then it must jump 1 tense back. Swim is in the present tense, so it must jump 1 tense back to the past tense. She said that she swam in the sea. Okay. I eat all my food. She said that she ate all her food, from the present to the past. Now, what if the word indirect speech, the verb in the direct speech, is already in the past tense? What if it's already ate? I ate all my food yesterday. Then it must jump 1 tense back into the past perfect. Then it must get a had, okay, plus a third column. She said that she had eaten all her food. Now, people, this verb mustn't jump 2 tenses back. Hey, you don't take it from the present to the past perfect. If it's already in the present tense, you take it to the past. If it's already in the past tense, you take it to the past perfect. I'll show you what I mean just now. Okay, so here are how some of the words change. Here's a table. You can learn all of these words off by heart. Is changes to was. Why? Because is present tense, was is past tense. Are changes to were, because are is past tense and or present tense and were is past tense. What does was change to? Had been, because that's the past perfect. Okay. Were changes to had been as well. See to saw, or any present tense verb changes to any past tense verb. Saw to had seen, any past tense to any past perfect. Went becomes had gone, must becomes had to, will becomes would, and that's also how you do reported speech in the future tense. Hey, I will sing my song tomorrow. She said that she would sing her song tomorrow. Then you don't jump, you just jump the auxiliary back, namely will. You don't jump the actual verb, namely sing, back, because you already jumped the auxiliary back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. I changes to he or she, we changes to they, you changes to he or she, today to that day, yesterday to the day before, tomorrow to the next day, last week to the previous week, or the week before, ago changes to before, next week changes to the following week, and now changes to then. Okay, people, these time words like today, yesterday, tomorrow, you just have to learn. Okay, you just have to study them. You don't usually have too many problems changing the person. You get that right. It's the verbs that give you all the problems. You either forget to jump them back or you jump them back too far from the present to the past perfect. Hey. Okay, let's go on and do a few exercises. Rewrite the following sentences. Start with Janet says that. Now, is this reported speech in the past tense or in the present tense?
Present tense, ma'am.
Present tense. So what has to change, Layla?
Just the verb, ma'am.
No, just the person. Okay. So it should be Janet says that.
Janet says that she hates vegetables and she refuses to eat them.
Good, perfect. Okay, you change the person from I to she. That she hates vegetables. Obviously, you have to change the concord of the verb as well, because you changed the pronoun. Hey, she hates vegetables and she refuses to eat them. Marley, please do the next one for us. Frank, they are good for you. You should eat them.
Frank says that they are good for you and that she should eat them.
Yes, that they are good for her and that she should eat them. If you kept it you, it also wouldn't have been wrong, hey, because he's talking back to her. Now it gets more difficult because now we're going to do reported speech in the past tense. Rewrite the following sentences. Start with Rob said that. Okay, Rob, today I will run a marathon. Dube, can you do that one for us, please, Dube?
Okay, ma'am.
Rob said that.
Okay, Rob said that that this day he will run a marathon.
Okay, what was wrong with that sentence? Rob said that today changes to that day. Okay. That day, you got right. And what does will become?
That he would run a marathon.
Yes, that he would run a marathon. Remember, it's in the future tense, so you have to jump the will back to would. Okay. Laila, do the next one for us, please. Tina, I ran a marathon 2 years ago. Tina said?
Tina said that she ran a marathon the previous, 2 years ago.
Okay, you got the person right. Tina said that she, what does ran become? Ran is in the past tense, so it becomes had run. Yes. Tina said that she had run a marathon 2 years before. Okay, ago becomes before. Marley, was it difficult? Should it be said now or should it be asked?
It should be asked, ma'am.
Okay, and how will you change that sentence into indirect speech?
I would say it would be Rob asked whether it had been difficult.
Good. Rob asked whether or if it had been difficult because was changes to had been in reported speech. Okay. Was it in the past tense? It has to jump back to the past perfect. Okay, Dube, can you do the last one for us? No, but tomorrow your legs will hurt.
Okay. Tina said that, right?
Okay, when there's no in reported speech, you have to say replied in the negative. That's just a tip. You do the rest. Tina replied in the negative.
Okay, Tina replied in the negative. That the next day, her legs would hurt.
Yes, his legs, because she's talking to Rob, but that won't matter. At least you change the person. Hey, Tina replied in the negative, but added that the next day his legs would hurt. Good, you got the person and the verb correct and the time word. Okay, guys, I think you're getting it more and more. Okay, rewrite the underlined words in reported speech. Peter, I dreamed I was falling off my horse. Marley?
Peter dreamt.
Or
No,
Peter
Peter said that he had dreamt he was falling off his horse.
Perfect. You remember to jump the verb back from dreamed to had dreamt, and you remembered to change the person. Okay. The only thing that you forgot was that was has to change. Okay. Peter had dreamt that he had been falling off his horse. Okay. Remember that the was also has to change. Jacob, Layla? Jacob replied?
Jacob replied that was funny, that he dreamed, that he had dream he was eating ice cream. I think that he had been eating ice cream.
Perfect. Jacob replied that was funny. That's good that you saw that. When there's a contraction, it's short for that is. So you have to change it to that was. Hey, and you saw that, which is great. Jacob replied that was funny. He had dreamed he had been eating ice cream. Okay, guys, you're getting it. I'm so proud. Now here they tell you how to do reported speech in the different tenses. Okay. In the present simple, you will just say, I like ice cream. So that becomes in reported speech that he liked ice cream. The present tense jumps to the past. Present continuous. I am living in Paris. He said that he was living in Paris. Only the auxiliary changes. Okay. You don't have to add beings. Don't get confused with passives. Okay. No beings in reported speech. Past simple. I bought a car. He said he had bought a car. It should be had bought. Past continuous. I was walking along the street. He said he had been walking along the street. Present perfect. I haven't seen Mary. He said he hadn't seen Mary. Have and has become had. Past perfect. I had taken Spanish. He said he had taken Spanish. People, sometimes there will be a double had. Okay. I had eggs for breakfast. He said that he had had eggs for breakfast. Okay. When you have had already in the sentence, you will change it to had. Make a note of that. Well, I'll see you later. He said that he would see me later or her later. Would, I would help. He said that he would help, but so would stays the same. I can speak perfect Spanish. He said that he could speak perfect Spanish. I could swim when I was 4. He said that he could swim. Should, he said that he should. Might, stays might. It's just must that changes to had to. Okay. These are called modals. Can, could, should, might. And they stay the same. Okay, except can becomes could. But these ones are already kind of in the past tense. Okay, so they stay the same, could and should. Might stays the same. It's only must that changes to had to. But I think it is there in your other column. Okay. Now let's do a quick reported speech test. Let's all say the words together. Okay. Am changes to. Today I am taking test. Yes, she said that today.
She was.
Was taking a test. Yes. Is becomes.
Was.
Was. Are becomes.
Were.
Was becomes.
Had been.
Had been. Exactly. Were becomes.
Had been.
Had been. Will becomes.
Would.
Would. Will go becomes.
Would go.
Would go. Go becomes. Today I go to the mall. She said that day she went. Yes. So will go becomes would go, whereas go becomes went. Can becomes could. Ate becomes
Eaten.
had eaten. Yes, you must remember your had. Then we are at number 1 again. Must becomes
Should.
Had
Must
to.
have.
I must wash my car today. She said that she had to wash her car that day. Okay, you must remember must becomes had to. Today becomes
This day.
that day.
Yeah.
That day. We are referring to a day that's in the past. Today it's today, but to in a year it will be that day. Okay. Yesterday becomes
The previous day.
previous day, the day before. Tomorrow?
The following day.
day.
Yes, the following day or the next day. Last year?
The previous year.
The previous year. Next week?
The following week.
The following week. Now becomes?
Then.
You often forget to change now into then in reported speech. Ago becomes?
Before.
Before,
No.
exactly. Yes becomes?
Agreed.
He replied in the positive or he replied positively. Okay. And no?
He replied
He replied in the
negative.
negative.
He replied in the negative or he replied negatively. And usually after yes or no, there's a comma. And you have to say he replied in the negative and added that or whatever. Okay. Now let's do these ones. I put little indications of how many marks they would count so that you could see what you have to actually change. People, a good idea is to underline the time words, the verbs, and the person so that you know which words have to change. Okay. Write the following in indirect speech. Sheila, yesterday I flew to Durban and swam in the sea. Who wants to do that one for us?
I'll do it. It would be Sheila said that she had flown to Durban the previous day and swum in the sea.
Okay, the verb is not, you must remember your had in the verb when you jump it.
Yes.
Okay, you change the word order, Marley, but that's fine as long as it still makes sense and as long as you remembered all of the words. Sheila said that the previous day she had flown to Durban and had swum in the sea. Okay, remember your had when you jump the past tense back. 2.2, Bob, we will not follow rules that do not apply to us now. Who wants to do this one?
I'll do it, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Bob said?
Bob said that they would not follow rules that do
Yes.
not apply to them then.
Okay, you just forgot that do. Bob said that they would not follow rules that did not apply.
That is not.
Yes, that did not apply to them then. Okay, that's why I tell you to underline everything that you have to change. Underline all the verbs in a sentence and make sure that you changed everything to where it should be. Okay. Fred, I want my sandwiches. Who wants to change that one for us?
Ma'am, I think it is Fred shouted that he wanted his sandwiches.
Good. Fred shouted or Fred exclaimed that he wanted his sandwiches. Okay. We changed the want into wanted because it's in the present tense now. So in indirect speech, it must go into the past tense. What if you don't know whether Fred is a boy's name or a girl's name? What if it wasn't Fred here? What if I said Alex, which can be a boy's name or a girl's name? What do you do with the pronoun then? Do you change it to his or to her?
Ma'am, I think you can choose whether one you want.
Yes. Try to guess from the context whether that person is male or female. But specifically in Setswana names, for example, names are gender neutral. Okay, Katlego can be either a male or a female. Am I right, Dube? Okay.
Sorry, ma'am.
I said in Setswana names, often you don't know whether it's a boy or a girl. The names are often gender neutral. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So then you decide, try to guess from the context, whether it's a boy or a girl, whether you have to change the pronouns to he or to she. Okay. If you can't, either one will be correct. Okay. But if you're going to change Fred into her, Fred said that she wanted her sandwiches. It's not going to be correct because Fred is exclusively a boy's name. Hey, so make sure about that. 3.4, Sarah, people don't know my story. Who wants to do that one for us?
I'll do it, ma'am.
Okay.
Sarah said that you don't know her story.
What must don't become? Don't is in the present tense, so it must become?
Did not.
Yes, didn't or did not. Sarah said that people didn't know her story. Okay, why did we not change the know to knew? Because we already changed don't. Okay, when there are two verbs next to each other like that, you only change the first one. It doesn't make sense, the sentence, if you say, Sarah said that people didn't knew her story. Okay, so that is why we didn't change the know into knew. Okay, guys, that is the reported speech lesson. I just want to go back to the table there. Make sure that you remember to change ago into before and now into then. These are the ones that you most often forget. And remember that when you change will into would, you've already jumped your verb back. So you don't need to jump the next verb back as well. If you say will go, for example, it doesn't become would went, it becomes would go. Okay. If you say will swim, it doesn't become would swam, it stays would swim. Okay, because you only jump the first part of the verb back. Okay, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Guys, thank you for a good lesson today. Are you more confident in your ability to do reported speech, or are you still unsure about certain aspects?
No, we're fine, thank you, ma'am.
Are you fine? Okay, that's very good. What did you want to say? Do your mics off?
I said we were a little bit more confident than before.
A little bit more confident. Okay, that's very good. Thank you, guys. I will see you again tomorrow.